How skeletal muscles produce joint movements and types of joint movements. Embryonic stem cells in the body differentiate into muscle cells. Muscle tissue forms after receiving signals from fibroblast growth factor, serum response factor, and calcium. Myoblasts are formed and then fuse into multinucleated myotubes, which then create the muscle tissue. Hundreds or thousands of muscle fibers are bound together into a fascicle. Many of these fascicle bundles together form a skeletal muscle. Muscles connect to the ends of bones with tendons and ligaments. Lever systems are formed, and the muscle is the force that moves the bones. The attachment points on bones are known as the origin and insertion. Cartilage at the ends of bones reduces friction during movement. There are three types of joints in the human body: fibrous, which are immovable; cartilaginous, which are semi-movable or permanent; and synovial, which are freely movable. Fibrous joints in the body that are immovable include sutures such as the coronal suture in the brain, gymphosis joints surrounding the teeth, and syndesmosis, a fibrous tissue which connects bones. Cartilaginous joints are found where two bones are joined by hyaline cartilage. Between the first rib and the sternum, intervertebral discs in the spine, and the symphysis pubis. Primary cartilaginous joints do not move, but ossify once the bones have stopped growing. Secondary cartilaginous joints have very little movement. Synovial joints are the joints that move, and there are 6 different types found in the body. The muscles we described earlier control the synovial joints to produce movements. The motor neurons contact muscle cells at the neuromuscular junction. These motor neurons release neurotransmitter chemicals that bond to a part of the sarcolemma called the motor end plate on the muscle. This produces a contraction as myosin pulls on actin. Once the neurotransmitter stimulation stops, the contraction reverses. Pivot joints are the first type of synovial joint and are found in the elbow between the humerus and the ulna and radius, and also in the neck where the atlas and axis meet. A pivot joint allows a supination and pronation movement of the forearm and an atlas and axis articulation movement. The head can rotate from side to side. This skeleton may have an atlas misalignment since he states that he is still in pain. He might need an adjustment. Hinge joints are found in the elbow and the knee. A hinge joint allows a flexion and extension movement, sort of like a hinge allows a door to open and close. The saddle joint is found in the base of the thumb in the hand. A saddle joint allows abduction and adduction, and also flexion and extension of the thumb. A plane joint, known as the subtalar joint, is located in the foot. Pronation and supination of the foot is made possible by this plane joint. Ball and socket joints are found in the shoulder and the hip. A ball and socket joint can produce movements of flexion and extension, abduction and adduction, and external and internal rotation. The condyloid joint is found between the metacarpal bones and the phalanges of the hand, and in the wrist between the lower end of the radius bone of the lower arm and 3 carpal bones. The condyloid joint produces flexion and extension of the hand at the wrist, ulnar adduction and radial abduction of the hand at the wrist, and abduction and adduction of the fingers.